and recognize all the loss of life on all sides. Thank you. I hope that there won't be any more conflicts involving loss of lives anywhere in the world. With that said, on the good news, by popular demand, we're back, the Planning and Zoning Commission and the City of Beaumont City Council. And if you would please call the roll.
Chairman Najad,
Here?
Commissioner Beatty,
Present.
Commissioner Jabbar,
Present.
Commissioner Jabia is absent, Commissioner Javed,
Here.
Commissioner Linton,
Here.
Commissioner Macon is absent, Commissioner Noyola,
Here.
Commissioner Sinegar,
Here.
Alternate Commissioner Harris is absent, Alternate Commissioner Sorrell is absent.
We do have a quorum. The minutes of the last meeting for September 18, 2023 has been published to all the members of the commission. I hope that you have reviewed the minutes, and I would entertain a motion to approve, or if there are any required changes.
Motion to move.
We have a motion to move with the approval, and we have a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? The ayes have it. We're going to start with the case PZ 2023-369. Ms. Engman,
Good afternoon.
good afternoon.
Access Surveyors has requested approval of a replat of Lot 34, Block 2, Garden Villas into Lot 34A and 34B, Block 2, Garden Villas Addition, Beaumont, Texas, Jefferson County. The intent of the plat is to divide the lots into 2 residential lots within the City of Beaumont's extraterritorial jurisdiction. Staff recommends approval of this request. We sent 16 property owner notices and received 0 in favor and 0 in opposition. On your screen, this is the area where they intend to divide the lots. And then this is the replat that they've submitted. And I do believe we have the applicant present.
Great. Any questions for Demi? Nope. Okay, and the applicant is in the audience, I believe. Good afternoon. Whoever wants to speak, we would love to hear from you. Fantastic. Good afternoon. If
Good
you would state
afternoon.
your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Colby Bracken with Access Surveyors, located at 11025 Old Voth Road here in Beaumont, Texas. We're splitting the property as you see here. The smaller lot, Lot 34B, satisfies the minimum acreage and width requirements held by the county and the city.
And this is for them to, let's see, 2 different lots, right?
Correct.
And are there any houses on these lots?
There's a house on 34B for sure. We wanted to be a certain width off of that. And so for us to maintain the minimum lot width and acreage, that's why we have a little jog in there. So
Okay. All right, great.
What is your lot size?
the smaller lot size is 0.51 acres. And the county wanted it to be a minimum of 0.5 acres. So we've managed to maintain that and have minimal jogs within the property. So
And the access provided from the same street?
yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Great. Any questions for the gentleman? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak for or against this case? None is heard, so you two folks happy with what he said? Yes, sir. Good, okay. We're going to close the public hearing. We heard from the applicant and heard from the staff, and I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? The ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming. If you'd like to leave, you're more than welcome to. Just don't create a big commotion here, okay? Ms. Engman, we go to PZ 2022023-347.
Roll call real quick.
Oh,
You're
we
always
went to
skipping
the,
steps.
okay.
We're gonna go to the joint meeting now.
How come you weren't the one complaining? You must be
She beat me.
asleep.
She beat me to it.
Okay, all right. Well, good afternoon again. We are starting our meeting with the City Planning and Zoning, and the Honorable Roy West will get us started. Please.
Mayor West. Mayor Pro Tem Turner. Absent. Councilmember Felshaw. Councilmember Durio.
Present.
Councilmember Neild. Absent. Councilmember Getz. Absent. Councilmember Samuel. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We're going to get started with PZ 2023347, please.
Mohammed Mukhtar requests a rezone with a specific use permit to allow a motor vehicle dealer at 2190 Calder. The subject property is located at the southeast corner of the intersection of McFadden and North 6th Street and is to be rezoned from residential conservation revitalization historic to general commercial multiple family dwelling district 2. Rezoning this property is consistent with the adjoining zoning district and allows for conditional approval from council for any future business to be at this location. Prior to obtaining a certificate of occupancy, an 8-foot wood or masonry privacy fence will be required for the entire length of the eastern property line to serve as a buffer from the residences to the east. Additionally, all lighting must be directional and shielded from all residential properties. Staff recommends approval with the following conditions. Number 1, all lighting installed must be directional and shielded from all residential properties to the northwest, north, and east. Number 2, shall install an 8-foot wood or masonry fence along the entire length of the eastern property line. Number 3, all business operations shall be in compliance with section 28.04.007 performance standards. Number 4, no permanent structures or appurtenances shall be placed within the easement, alleyway, or right-of-way property. We did send 11 property owner notices and received 0 in favor and 1 in opposition, stating there is already an abandoned used car lot next door that it is an eyesore, does not promote an atmosphere we want on Calder Avenue or Historic District, especially when people are making their way downtown. As a result of this opposition, more than 20% of the area of the lots within 200 feet of the property are in protest, and therefore this SUP must receive a favorable vote of 3/4 of all the members of City Council to pass. On the screen, the area outlined in red is considered for the used car lot and rezone. This is an aerial photography to show you what's on the lot as of now. This is the site plan. This is the subject property. To the north, properties to the east, to the south, to the west. And I believe we have the applicant and the owner present.
Great. The applicant's here? Dr. Tomei, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dr. Nejad, the board members. My name is Heini Tomei with Golden Triangle Consulting Engineers. The property, like you saw, first of all, does not front Calder, so it is not going to have any impact on any Calder traffic. And from the aerial views you also saw, the property is an eyesore today versus the improvements that are going to take place, which is a nice fence. The pavement is going to be improved, and most likely that sidewalk, which is the city is going to require because it's within that area. So we are not going to cause any issues to the area, and we're going to remove an eyesore and make it into something nicer. And like you can see, there is no historic homes in that vicinity. There's apartments on one side, businesses in the front, a business on the right, and a business on the left. So if you all have any other questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them.
I have a question.
Please, go ahead.
I was looking at the plot that you had with the car lot. Where's the office building gonna be?
Sorry?
The office, where's the office gonna be in here?
There is an existing building right in front on the Calder side, and the office is going to be in that building.
Okay.
So there will be no additional structures added.
What hours would it be functioning?
We have to follow the ordinance and the hours that the city have, but it's a business that sells cars, so it's not going to open late at night, it's not going to open early in the morning.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Is there anything that after hours or late hours, selling cars, if somebody wants to look at it after whatever, let's say for business hours is 8 to 7, and if somebody wants to look at a car at 10 o'clock, is that something you guys gonna do?
I don't think that's something they're going to entertain at this time, no, sir.
Okay.
Is it, since you're concerned with that, maybe we need to talk about the hours and set some ground rules for that anyway, but bear that in mind. So, any other questions? Sir, go ahead.
You mentioned improvement to the property.
Like you see, the surface right now is in very poor condition, so anybody driving by can see this as an eyesore. So the property is going to be fenced with an 8-foot tall fence that will cover that, and at one point they have to resurface the ground as well. Yes, sir.
What are you going to say, with asphalt or concrete?
Asphalt, because the existing is asphalt.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, sir. Now we're going to open the floor for public comments. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak for or against this case? Yes, sir. If you please state your name and address for the record, and we'd love to hear from you.
Thank you. David Bradley.
I really meant that. You're kind of smiling like,
You said you really would like to, so
yeah,
surprise.
go ahead.
David Bradley, 2165 North Street. I missed an opportunity to register in opposition. I was probably a few feet short. I'm on the following street behind it. The back of our properties all hit it. But I'm very familiar with the area. I've been here for 30 years on this block. I used to own the apartments directly across the street. Couple representations. I think the fencing was mentioned would only be on the east side of the property, which would run down the side of the Green Beanery. Well, nobody's there, nobody cares. Nobody's going to look onto the lot, but you still have visual from McFadden, and you're still going to have visual on 6th Street. So there isn't any real screening as far as aesthetics if all you're going to do is fence on the east side of that lot. Another representation was made that there are no historic properties there. Well, if we had a Google view, if we traveled just a little bit east, diagonally to that piece of property is the Weiss home. The Weiss home is at 615 North 5th. That is the only prairie-style architecture here in the city of Beaumont. It was built by Harry Wise in like 1911. I bought that home 30 years ago. He founded the Humble Oil Company. yes, that is a historic home. It's quite a treasure. Directly across the street from it, within eyeshot of that driveway, you may remember Buddy Blake's Clock Shop for some of the old timers around here. That was built in 1895. And that home is still there as one of the original homes that were pre-Spindletop. And then immediately on the next block to that is the McFadden Ward. So I think you really need to understand probably some of the more historic of the historic district are on that block and then on the successive block. And it would be a real detriment to put in a storage lot essentially there in the historic district. And one other thing I think I would question, being that that lot, which is really a McFadden property, is within the historic district, correct? Is there not a setback requirement for parking?
So that would be in front of any building.
I'm sorry, the comments need to be addressed to
Okay.
the commission, and staff can answer any questions that the commission has.
Commission, is there not a setback for parking? So you would not be able to use the entire lot for parking?
There's setbacks on all the buildings, yes, sir.
And being that it is in the historic district, there would probably be additional screening requirements. And I don't know if they would have to be consent from the Landmark Commission for those improvements in a specific use permit. But again, join the other 80% of the adjoining property owners that are in opposition. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there anybody else that would like to speak for or against this case? Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. If you would state your name and address for the record, please.
Yes, this is Mohammed Mukhtar, 8895 Freeland Boulevard. I own this property for almost 10 years. I'm running this business right now, what I have, and this parking lot has been empty, never used, and the house right next to it is that whole property has several shops inside, used to be before I owned this property. Now, since 2009, it never have any business and it's always open, people going in and out, breaking in. They had little pockets inside, sometimes homeless people staying in there. I did call several times on this property to the police to get the help to remove that homeless from there. And the second thing is people park their damaged cars. There is a guy who was driving 18-wheeler. He parked his 18-wheeler like ahead over there without telling me. Then there is some other people living in those apartments right behind. They bring in their trash, empty their cars out there, leaving all the trash and everything inside the property. So every week we have to go out there and clean it. The guy who cut the grass and take care of the property maintenance, they have to come clean and they always have a complaint about it. So the purpose of doing this business, the two things, one is going to be business over there, and the other thing is this property look ugly all the time. So if we have business established over there, all that people going in and out to the house and the property back there and bringing trash out there, so that could be solved. And if there is a city require any type of fence or any restrictions or setback, we can follow that.
Any questions for the gentleman?
Yes, sir. I noticed that there is a requirement for the 8-foot based on, he said, the east side, which is the back going towards the building. Are you going to put a fence anywhere else around there?
The setback area, I'm sure when he drawn, it's in there, but if there's any other side requirement, I really cannot tell the east side and west side. So on the scale, he can explain better probably, but we can follow if there's any
I think the east
requirement.
side is going to be in front of the structure, but the other three sides, is it going to be just an open lot, not being protected by a fence?
If the fence is required by the city to be from all sides, we can do that. If we even need to close the section on the McFadden side and have the entrance only from the store area that is existing, we can do that as well. So whatever conditions the city would like to impose so that this can go through, we are willing to entertain these conditions.
Dr. Haney, I want to caution you, the city does not require fencing, but where you're going, you might be enticing the commission to require that. So if, as a part of their approval, they ask for that, then you're going to be bound for doing it.
And that's what I'm saying. If fencing is
You
gonna
understand
be,
that?
yes, sir. If fencing is gonna be a requirement for this to get approved, we will entertain the fencing idea.
Fantastic. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Is there anybody else in the audience that would like to speak for or against this case? Mr. Getz.
I just got a message from Jim Broussard saying that they sent an objection. It conveys the image that we're trying to convey for Calder Avenue. Did we have an objection?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We have received that. He is a part of the 20% of the property owners. Any other questions or comments? Fantastic. We're going to close the floor for public comments. We've heard from the applicant, we heard from the owner and also the staff, and I would entertain a motion.
I entertain a motion to approve with 4 conditions, and I would like to add a condition to the business hours from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? The ayes have it. Thank you. Okay, Ms. Demi, we're going to go to PZ 2023354.
Jimmy Jasani requests approval for a specific use permit to allow a drinking place located at 2576 Interstate 10 East. This suite has an existing CO to operate a hookah lounge, and the applicant wishes to add a bar with extended hours until 2 a.m. to it. Additional information regarding the operations of the business was not disclosed to staff. This property is in close proximity to city-owned property to the north, hotels to the west, a church and city-owned park to the east, and 2 high-density apartments located off Sweet Gum Lane. In regards to consideration of safety, 911 reports indicate from January 1st, 2020 to March 28th, 2023, there have been 219 calls made in relation to the suites within the Town Center Shops Plaza. In efforts to keep this shopping center safe for patrons and surrounding properties, a drinking place may not be a compatible use at this location. Staff recommends denial of this request. However, should commission choose to approve, staff would recommend such approval with the following conditions. Number 1, shall be in compliance with 28.04.007 performance standards. Number 2, operational hours shall not exceed 10 p.m. on Sundays. Number 3, construction plans must meet all requirements by water utilities for water and sanitary sewer services, including any requirements of the city's backflow pretreatment and/or fog program. Number 4, construction plans and operations shall comply with applicable health, building, and fire code requirements. We did send 9 property owner notices. We received 0 in favor and 0 in opposition. On the screen, the area outlined in red is the area where the SUP is being considered. This is an aerial photography of it. You can see the surrounding uses, specifically the hotels to the west and the high-density apartments to the north. This is the subject property in full. This is the suite they intend to put the bar in. This is the west. To the south. To the east. And to the north. And north continued to show more of the apartments. I believe that we have the applicant present.
Thank you, ma'am. Any questions? The applicant, is he in the audience? Good afternoon, sir. Please state your name and address for the record, and we would love to hear from you.
Yeah, my name is Hussein Jassani. I also go by Jimmy Jassani. I'm from 2576 I-10 East, Beaumont. And I own this Cloud Hookah Lounge and also the Mediterranean Indian restaurant right next to it. We've been owning this for a few months. And the Cloud Hookah Lounge also started, we have customers who come in and we have BYOB. They can bring their own drink, but once they come, they realize it's a BYOB, they have not carried the drink with them. So there's been demand asking for the bar. And that's why we want to make application for this. We're gonna try to keep this high-end lounge and a bar with a cover charge. That way we can avoid the crowd. I know the commission has the concern about in the past, all the calls but there have been things going on in that parking lot whenever there was another bar in the parking lot, which were not allowed. But we're gonna keep everything clean at this property and try to entertain and take care of the customers who come in.
Mr. Jassani, how many bars do you own?
None.
How many have you owned previously?
None, no bar.
So you have no experience in operating a bar?
No.
Okay.
I have
And do you understand how many calls they had from the police, for the police in this area?
Yeah.
And who do you know pays for those calls?
I guess citizens of the city.
You and I pay for those, right? So that tells you it's a very unfriendly environment, right? And a bar is not very conducive to already unfriendly places. You know where I'm going, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Any questions from the gentleman?
You said your experience in this location has only been 2 months?
No. I think we got the occupancy sometime in February or March. About 6 months we've been operating the lounge, just the hookah lounge.
Okay, so you weren't there when all the other incidents was going on?
Yeah, I saw it in the news and stuff, but I wasn't there.
Okay.
There used to be an ecstasy club, I think, over there. And the parking lot used to be full over the weekend, and there's been shut down since the last incident over there.
Yeah, well, it was more than just that one. There's been several businesses been in and out. They've been having problems with pretty much everything that's been going through. There's been
Right.
issues. And that's one of the concerns of it.
How many days you operate? 5 days a week or 6 days a week?
5 days a week.
5 days a week? And every night is two
Right now we are only doing the Wednesday to Sunday. So right now it's only 4 days.
2 a.m. in the morning?
If we get the bar, it will be 2 a.m. Right now it's till midnight, from 5 to midnight right now.
This used to be El Basha, right?
Yes.
Okay. El Basha, from what I counted here, had 48 of those calls for disturbances.
I don't know if Al-Basha ever had the hookah lounge over there. It was a
Just
Mediterranean restaurant.
even without the hookah bar, without people bringing their own drinks, just a simple restaurant had 48 calls for the police. And that's not a good record. So, any other questions for the gentleman? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go to, let me get my act together here. To the public hearing. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak for or against this case? None is heard, so we'll close the public hearing. You heard from the staff and we heard from the owner, and I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we deny PZ 203-354.
We have a motion to deny and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? The ayes have it. Thank you. We're going to go to PZ 2023383.
Pastor Sharp requests approval of an SUP for a worship facility to be located at 7285 Calder Avenue. The GCMD2 zoning district requires a specific use permit for all new land uses proposed. The facility will be owned by Faith Christian Center Church, and the project will include a church and family life center. The hours of operation will be Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 p.m., with Wednesdays to have extended hours from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., and Sundays from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. There will be 4 full-time employees and 6 part-time employees. This facility will host many outreach programs such as food giveaways, youth programs, back-to-school programs, and enrichment seminars. Staff recommends approval with the following conditions. Number 1, construction plans shall comply with all applicable building, health, and fire codes and landscaping requirements. Number 2, construction plans must meet all requirements by water utilities for water and sanitary sewer services, including any requirements of the city's backflow, pretreatment, and/or fog program. Number 3, no permanent structures or appurtenances shall be placed within easement property. Number 4, shall submit a drainage and parking lot plan to include proper storm sewer design, delineated parking spaces, and erosion control measures for the proposed and future parking lot. Number 5, relocate the dumpster for easier access by the garbage truck. We sent 14 property owner notices and received 0 in favor and 0 in opposition. On the screen, the area outlined in red is being considered for the worship facility. This is an aerial photography of it. This is the site plan. This is the subject property. It's undeveloped land. Property to the east, those are townhomes. To the north, to the west, and to the south. I believe we have the applicant present as well.
Good. Any questions? Pastor Sharp? Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
How are you today?
I'm doing wonderful.
If you please state your name and address for the record, and we'd love to hear from you.
Carlton Sharp, 5150 Plant Road, Beaumont, Texas. I'm here today to seek approval for this special use permit so that we could construct a new worship facility at this location. Recently, we sold our building, the old Colonnade Theater, to Harmony Academy so that we can get a more visible location for our worship center. And so that's why we're here for today.
Fantastic. Any questions for the gentleman? You got it easy today. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a good afternoon and good luck to you. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak for or against this case? You're not going to go against God, right? Good move. Good move. We're going to close the public hearing. We heard from the pastor and we heard from the staff, and I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve with the 5 conditions.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? The ayes have it. Good luck to you, sir. Fantastic. PZ 2023-390. Demi, this might be a record for you.
I'm going
You're
fast.
doing a really good job. Go ahead.
Faust Engineering, on behalf of Donald Wise, requests the rezoning of a property located at 5090 Concord Road from GCMD to RS. Mr. Wise intends to develop townhomes for residential use. According to our city's comprehensive plan, the property is located within a stable area. Such areas are built-up areas which are generally characterized to be good, excellent structural conditions and neighborhoods that are free from blighting influences such as incompatible land uses, dilapidated and derelict buildings, and deteriorated or poor public infrastructure. Vacant parcels which may exist are good to excellent development sites. This request appears to be in line with our city's comprehensive plan of Beaumont. We do recommend approval of the request. We sent 14 property owner notices and received 0 in favor and 0 in opposition. On your screen, the area outlined in red is considered for the rezone. This is aerial photography of it. This is the subject property. to the south, southwest, oh, I'm sorry, west, north, and east, and further east. This last slide is a picture that they wanted me to upload. It looks like this is what they are intending to design. We do have the applicant present.
Any questions for Demi? Thank you. I don't care, whichever one wants to come out. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you guys feeling?
Very well, thank you.
Okay, I'm Don Wise, 1060 Brockman Street here in Beaumont, Texas. Don Wise with Wise Investments. This is a project that's been long overdue that I'm really interested in and wanting to get accomplished. And as you were able to see in terms of from the final rendering, we plan to do something really unique and really grand in that area. These townhomes will represent a quality built and constructed type of townhomes that we'll be selling. And they will be a unique opportunity for individuals to become first-time homeowners as well as homeowners in this particular city.
Great, thank you, Mr. Wise. Any questions for the gentleman?
What type of structure? What type of structure are you building?
It's going to be brick, well, frame, wood frame.
And brick veneer?
Brick veneer, yes.
How many bedrooms you have?
3 bedrooms, 2 baths, double car garage. Well, actually 2.5 baths, double car garage.
It's good. It's good looking.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Mr. Wise, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anybody in the audience that would like to ask to speak for or against this case? We're going to close the public hearing. We heard from the owner and the developer, and you heard from the staff, and I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve?
Okay.
We have a motion to approve and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? The ayes have it. Thank you very much. Mr. Mayor, we beg your indulgence to get us home. Or let us go home. Thank you, sir. You did a great job, my friend.
Sir. Thursday. I'm gonna sit up on Thursday too. Hey, what's going on?